Welcome back to the GCSE Maths Pro YouTube channel. In this video, we'll be looking at how to work out the volume of cones and frustums. Okay, so cones, pretty self-explanatory, this type of shape here. The formula, you don't need to know yourself. If it's not a prism, then they should give you the formula. Now, whether that will be on your formula sheet or just next to the question if it's relevant, that depends. But the formula for the volume of a cone is 1/3 pi r squared h. Okay, so 1/3 pi radius squared, here, this measurement halfway across the circle, multiplied by the height of the cone. A frustum, which for some reason I always thought it was called a frustrum, but apparently not. So frustum is where you've got a cone, so like this original one, and then imagine that you've just chopped off the top of it somewhere along. So you can see we've chopped off this kind of cone that would have been here. So the formula for that would basically be the formula for the big cone, so imagine this whole big cone that was originally there, subtract then the volume of this smaller cone that's been chopped off. So you don't necessarily need to know a formula for that, it's just know that it's the big cone that was originally there minus the small cone that's been chopped off the top. So that does mean that you need to know not only the radius for the big cone, but also the radius for the smaller cone, because they won't be the same. If you have a look, physically it's not obviously going to be the same. And the same with the height of the big cone and the height of the small cone. So we'll start off with a basic one, just work out the volume of the cone. We've got the formula in the corner here that you can refer back to. So it would be 1/3 pi multiplied by the radius squared. Remember, it is squared. I feel like with volume we get used to cubing things, but it is only squared because we've also got a third dimension here with the height. So that accounts for all three dimensions multiplied by the 6.8. And then let's put it in the calculator. So I've got 178.023 ... so I would just round that to 178. And that is centimeters cubed. So in that sense, we're just substituting values into a formula. Okay, so for the next one, we need to work out the volume of the cone, this time to 3 significant figures. Now what you might notice is we've got slightly different dimensions. We have got the radius, okay, great, but remember we needed the height. And as we've mentioned with volume, same with area, you always need perpendicular measurements. So for example here you can see the height is technically perpendicular to the radius. We are talking about this height here, aren't we? Which is perpendicular to the radius. Now if I come back, that one is not. We also know specifically with area too that we never work with diagonal sides, do we? If it's area. The same applies for volume. So this is not the height then. Sometimes they call it the slanted height or the slant height, but it's not the height that we want from our formula. So we do need to do a little bit of work before. What I actually want is the height here, directly vertical. That would be 90 degrees. Now, I know the cone is 3D, but try and kind of picture these three arrows, these three lines, as just a flat 2D triangle. You can always just sketch it out yourself if you find that helpful to focus. So the base is 2.1, the hypotenuse is 9.9, and I don't know the height, but that is what I want to find out, isn't it? So how can I work that out before I start working out the volume? Well, if we've just got a triangle, we know two sides, we're missing one, that means Pythagoras. So bring in your Pythagoras formula. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now, c is always the hypotenuse. As long as you get that one correct, it doesn't matter which one you label as a and b. I might put it like this. And then we'll substitute in the values. So I've got 2.1 squared plus, you can either leave it as b squared or put height squared or whatever you want to call it, is equal to 9.9 squared. Now to solve this for the height, I do need to rearrange it first of all. I need to subtract the 2.1 squared. I'm going to type this into my calculator now. And that gives me 93.6, but that is the height squared. So remember, I need to square root my answer. Now that gives me 9.674, loads of decimals. So I'll write down a couple of decimals on my working, but do keep this answer here in your calculator for later. So 9.674, let's say. 9.674 ... That is the actual vertical perpendicular height. Now we can effectively ignore the 9.9. I don't need that anymore, do I? Now let's focus. We're just going to focus on the volume again. So our formula for the volume is the third pi multiplied by the radius squared, 2.1, and then multiplied by the perpendicular height, which was the 9.674. Remember that there are more decimals, so I will copy it from my calculator. That's still in my calculator, so now I can type in my formula, but I will keep all of the decimals. So I'm not just going to put 9.674, I'm going to write answer. That will copy all of the decimals as long as it is still your previous answer. And I get 44.679 ... That is the final answer for the volume, so now I can round it to 3 significant figures like they've asked. 44.7, that would be. 44.7 centimetres cubed. Okay, so if you feel like they haven't given you the correct dimensions, there should be a way to work it out. It will obviously just then be more marks in the question. Okay, now let's focus on the frustum. So we've got a frustum is made by removing a cone with height 2 centimetres and a radius of 1.5 centimetres from a cone with height 6 centimetres and base radius 4.5 centimetres. Work out the volume of the frustum. So that's a lot of information. You might prefer to label it or even to draw the bigger cone on just so you can visualise it. So if I just extend it like that, that's what they're talking about with bigger cone. So we've removed a cone from the top with a height of 2. So it's saying that this height here of the smaller cone at the top is 2 centimetres and a radius across here of 1.5 centimetres. Obviously, normally these are not drawn to scale, so don't assume that they are. And then that is being taken away from a cone, so the bigger cone, with height 6 centimetres. So that would be the whole thing, wouldn't it? The whole thing would be 6. And base radius 4.5. So now we've labelled it. Hopefully you can visualise that a little bit better. To work out the frustum, remember that we have to do the big cone volume minus the small cone's volume. So the same formula twice, just with different details, different measurements that we're adding in. So we've got third pi. For the big cone, we've got radius 4.5 squared multiplied by the height of 6. Take away, same again, a third pi, multiplied by the radius, which is now 1.5 squared, and a height of just 2. And you can just directly type that into the calculator. Okay, there we go. Now it's giving me 39 pi. Obviously I want to know it as a decimal, so that would be 122.5. Let's round it to that. 122.5 centimetres cubed. Okay, it's as straightforward as that, as long as you have got those measurements for both the small cone and the big cone. Now, a more likely scenario, or just maybe a more challenging scenario, is that you don't necessarily have all 4 of those measurements. So here we've got a frustum is made by removing a cone with height 1.6 from a cone with height 4 centimetres and base radius 7 centimetres. So let's draw on that top cone again so we can visualise it. Now we know that the top cone has a height this time of 1.6, and then we know that the whole cone, the big one, has a height of 4 centimetres, and the base radius is 7. So you can see we're missing something. We are missing the radius of the small cone. How would I work that out? Well, this is where, again, another topic can overlap. I feel like it's not necessarily super obvious, but if you've seen it before and it comes up again, then you'll definitely know what to do. Because we've got a small cone and a big cone, they effectively line up, don't they? If you imagine if I could click this corner and click and drag it, it would extend to make the same size as the big cone. So what that means is that those two cones, the small cone and the big cone, are mathematically similar. Now, if you remember what similar shapes are, sometimes it's just similar triangles, but it does apply to 3D shapes as well. It means that they are basically exactly the same. The only thing is that one is a bigger scale than the other. So what I need to do is work out the scale factor. And how do I work out a scale factor? Well, I have to use what I like to call a matching pair. So 2 either sides or dimensions measurements where I know both, one for the small cone, one for the big cone. In that case, would be both of the heights. I know that the height of the small cone is 1.6 and the height of the big cone is 4. So I can compare those to make a scale factor. Then I'll just apply my scale factor to the radius. So the scale factor would be 1.6 divided by 4. You can do it the other way around if you like. Let's simplify that in our calculator. That actually simplifies to 2/5, or in other words, 0.4. 2/5. So what we're saying is that the small cone is 2/5 the size of the big cone. So that means the small radius would be 2/5 the size of the big radius. So let's apply that. The small radius would be 7 centimeters of the big radius, multiplied by my scale factor, because that will make it smaller, won't it? It's effectively 2/5 of 7, which is 2.8 centimeters. Okay, so that's all you need to do. Just figure out a scale factor with the dimensions you do have. The same would work if you knew the radius of the small one and the big one, and then you were missing one of the heights. You could do the same logic. So now I have the information, I can carry on as I did in the previous question. Let's do the big cone first. 1/3 pi multiplied by the radius, which was 7 squared, and then the height 4. Take away the small cone, which is 1/3 pi. Small radius, 2.8 squared, and then the small height is 1.6. And then just type all of that into your calculator. And that gives me 192.11 ... So let's go with 192.1 centimeters cubed. So just remember, if you ever get a frustum, you might need to use the logic of similar shapes with finding a scale factor. Okay, as we've done with all the other ones, if you know how to work out the volume, you also need to know how to use the volume to work out one of the original dimensions. So the volume of the cone is 71.3 centimeters cubed, and the height is 8.1 centimeters. Work out the radius to 1 decimal place. So we've got our formula. Let's set it up with what we know. 1/3 pi, we've obviously got. The radius we don't know, so leave that as r squared. The height we do have, 8.1. And I can put that equal to 71.3 because I do know what that is. Now let's simplify the left-hand side. I would probably times 8.1 by, well, it depends. I would probably just multiply across by 3. I know you can divide 8.1 by 3, but I would probably just get rid of that. So either think of it as multiplying by 3 to get rid of that denominator, or divide by the whole third. It's the same thing. So I'd be left with 8.1, I'm going to put that at the front because it is a coefficient, pi r squared. 71.3 times 3 is 213.9. Now I would probably divide by 8.1 pi. You can do that all in one, you can do it in 2 steps, it doesn't matter. I'd probably put it in a bracket, I guess. 8.1 multiplied by pi. Now we've got loads of decimals, so just write down a couple of them, but leave your answer in your calculator. So 8.405, let's say. And that is just r squared left. So all I need to do now is just square root. As I said, leave it there, square root, and then use the answer button so it copies all of the decimals. Okay, now this is my final answer, so I can actually round it to 1 decimal place. That would give me 2.9. 2.9 centimeters because radius is 1 dimension. So we should be able to reverse the volume formula as well. So that is everything on cones and frustums. The next video would be the volume of pyramids. So thanks for watching this video. If you found it helpful, make sure to like and subscribe and leave down below any questions or comments that you might have.